Have you ever yearned to be someone who stands like a mountain, unshaken by the storms of criticism, rejection, loss, or betrayal? Do you dream of a day when that quiet, soul-crushing pain, the kind that gnaws at your core while you plaster on a brave face, finally releases its grip? Perhaps you're bone-tired from the endless struggle to please everyone around you, from carrying the heavy mask of unrelenting strength, when all you truly crave is a moment to breathe, to let the weight of being untouchable slip from your shoulders. Deep down, you long for a life where you can just be free from the pressure to perform, to prove, to hold it all together when your heart feels like it's breaking. This ache, this longing is a whisper from your soul, begging you to listen, to stop running, and to find a strength that doesn't demand perfection but flows from truth. Let me share a raw, unspoken truth that might shake you awake. As long as you keep dodging pain, it will chain you to its will. When you numb your heart to shield it, when you hide behind walls of pretense or silence, you become a prisoner to the world around you, to the sharp words that slice through your defenses, to the actions that leave you reeling, to the deafening silences that carve wounds deeper than any blade. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's the unfiltered reality of being human in a messy, unpredictable world. Some people are just better at hiding their cracks, wearing their while others feel the weight of every fracture. But pretending doesn't free you. It binds you tighter. The path to liberation begins when you stop running from what hurts and start facing it with courage, knowing that pain isn't your enemy but a guide towards something greater. Carl Jung, a brilliant explorer of the human soul, said we are not shaped by what happens to us, but by what we choose to become in the face of it. This is the heart of your journey. True strength isn't about barricading yourself from the world's chaos or hardening your heart into stone. It's about weaving every piece of yourself, light and shadow, joy and sorrow, into a tapestry of wholeness. It's about dragging into the light the fears, doubts, and wounds you've buried in the dark, letting them breathe, letting them heal. Real power doesn't come from never feeling pain. It comes from standing tall in its presence, knowing who you are even as tears fall or your heart trembles. This is the strength that endures, not because it's untouchable, but because it's rooted in the unshakable truth of your being. If you're reading this now, it's no coincidence. It's a call. This message is for you, the one who's exhausted from being bruised by every word, every slight, every moment that feels like a betrayal. It's for you who feel like you're always one step behind, as if others wield a power over your heart that you can't quite grasp. You're tired of carrying the weight of others' expectations, of feeling like you're at their mercy. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be this way. But freedom requires facing truths that might sting, truths that might burn away the illusions you've clung to. For the first time, this pain could be your liberator, not your captor. It's time to step into the fire, to let it refine you, rather than consume you. Are you ready? Let's take this journey together, one brave step at a time. You've always believed the pain comes from out there, from the cutting words of others, the betrayals that blindsided you, the abandonments that left your heart hollowed out. But here's a brutal, life-changing truth. Nothing outside you has the power to wound unless it finds an open scar within. The real hurt isn't in what others do. It's in what their actions stir up inside you. It's the echo of old wounds, the sting of unresolved stories, the weight of fears you've never faced. Those moments of rejection or betrayal don't create the pain. They uncover it, like a spotlight on a wound you've bandaged but never healed. Until you turn inward, until you face those raw places, the world will keep pressing on them, and you'll keep bleeding. The pain you feel is tied to the stories you tell yourself, the narratives woven from old traumas, the emptiness you mask with strength, pride, or the desperate need to seem put together. Jung taught us that the hurt we experience from the world is a reflection of what's unresolved within us. It's why one person can walk through life's fiercest storms with steady clarity, while another crumbles under a single careless remark. It's not about what happens, it's about where it lands inside you. The words that cut deepest are the ones that echo beliefs you've buried. I'm not enough. I'm unlovable. I'm alone. These aren't truths, they're wounds. And until you face them, they'll keep you tethered to the pain you're trying so hard to escape. Here's a truth that might feel like a punch to the gut. You suffer so much because, deep down, you believe you can control how the world sees you, treats you, loves you. You keep striving to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, kind enough, as if perfection could build a shield no hurt could pierce. But control is a cruel illusion. The harder you cling to it, the more you live in a state of exhausting tension, trying to predict what can't be predicted, to prevent what can't be stopped. Every time you chase that mirage of control, you're left drained, frustrated, and still vulnerable. The world will never bend to your will, and that's not failure. It's reality. The sooner you let go of this illusion, the closer you are to freedom. If you want to break free from suffering, stop trying to block it out. You don't need more control. You need deeper awareness, a clear-eyed understanding of your own heart. As long as you believe others must change for your pain to stop, you're handing them the keys to your peace. True freedom begins when you realize that nothing from the outside, words, actions, silences, has power unless it finds a resonance within you. When you understand your own wounds, you take back the reins. You stop being a victim of the world's chaos and start being the architect of your own healing. This is where your strength begins, not in avoidance, but in awakening. The real battleground isn't out there. It's in the hidden depths of your unconscious, the shadowy corners of your mind where unseen forces pull the strings. What you don't see, don't understand, and don't confront will always control you. It's the fears you've buried, the memories you've locked away, the truths you've refused to face. These aren't just ghosts. They're active, shaping your reactions, your choices, your life. In the next part, we'll plunge deeper into this unseen world, where the roots of your pain and power lie. This is where transformation begins, where you start to unravel the chains. If these words are striking a chord, hit that subscribe button and join this journey. Thank you for walking this path with me. The biggest lie you've been told is that you're in control when you wake up each day, but you're not while you're sleepwalking through life. You react without knowing why, feel emotions that seem to come from nowhere, make choices that unravel in ways you can't explain. You're caught in a cycle, driven by forces you don't see, like a ship tossed by invisible currents. This isn't freedom. It's a script written by your unconscious, directing your every move while you call it just how things are. Until you shine a light on those hidden depths, you're not living, you're merely surviving. Carl Jung said it with piercing clarity. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will steer your life and you'll call it fate. That's exactly what's happening right now. The pain that grips your heart, the anger that flares without warning, the sadness that washes over you like a tidal wave, these aren't random. They're messages, urgent signals from the parts of you that you've forgotten, ignored, or shoved into the shadows. Your unconscious is trying to speak, to wake you up, but you keep hitting snooze, hoping the noise will stop. It won't, not until you listen. Jung called this hidden realm the unconscious, and it's not just a vague cloud of thoughts. It's a living, breathing force, a vast ocean of memories, traumas, desires, and fears you've refused to face. These buried pieces don't just sit quietly. They shape how you feel, how you act, how you live. Why does a single word or glance cut you to the core while others shrug it off? Because those words hit wounds that are still raw, still alive, pulsing beneath the surface. You've swept them under the rug of your mind, thinking they'd disappear, but they're there, tripping you up, keeping you stuck in patterns you can't break. Jung's words cut like a blade. We cannot change what we refuse to accept. Condemnation doesn't free us, it binds us. But what have you done? You've judged much, silenced your heart to seem strong, buried your pain to keep up appearances. You thought ignoring it would make it go away, but the unconscious doesn't vanish, it festers. It creeps into your life through toxic relationships you keep repeating, self-sabotage you can't escape, anxieties that flare when everything seems fine. This isn't bad luck. It's your unconscious banging on the door, demanding to be heard. You've been asleep, but it's time to wake up. If you want to be someone who stands unshaken, stop running from what's inside you. As long as your unconscious remains a stranger, your emotions will pull your strings, leaving you a puppet to every trigger. The more you try to shield yourself from external pain, the more vulnerable you become to the chaos within. But there's a way out, not through walls or defenses, but through integration, through knowing every part of yourself so deeply that nothing can rattle you. Becoming untouchable isn't about resisting pain, it's about understanding it. Next, we'll explore what it means to be truly unshaken, and why this strength comes not from armor, but from embracing every piece of who you are. Let's keep moving forward, deeper into this truth. Most people believe the only way to dodge pain is to lock themselves away. They build towering walls, craft flawless masks, and wrap themselves in emotional armor, proclaiming, "I don't care anymore," or "nothing can hurt me." But beneath the surface, they're still bleeding, their hearts corroding under the weight of unacknowledged pain. The problem isn't feeling too much. It's not knowing why you feel or what you're feeling. It's living as a stranger to your own soul, disconnected from the truths that could set you free. This is the trap of those who haven't yet dared to meet themselves fully. Jung said it with raw honesty. Learn every theory, master every technique, but when you touch a human hidden behind a polished, untouchable facade is screaming to be seen, to be known. Emotional strength isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's not about ignoring pain, avoiding conflict, or pretending nothing matters. It's about embracing every fragment of yourself, your fears, your flaws, your buried dreams, and bringing them into the light. It's about standing in your truth, raw and unfiltered, without apology. You don't become untouchable by shutting the world out. You become untouchable when you embrace every part of yourself so that no external force can shake your core. When you weave together your shadows, your fears, your insecurities, you stop being a slave to every emotional trigger. You learn to pause, to observe, to choose your response instead of being swept away. This is freedom, not the absence of feeling, but but the power to feel deeply and still stand firm, rooted in the truth of who you are. Jung called this individuation, the sacred journey of becoming your true self, not the version others expect or the image you thought you needed to be loved. It's about covering the you that emerges from the collision of light and shadow, ego and unconscious. Individuation isn't about striving for perfection, Jung said. It's about integration, about gathering all your scattered pieces into a whole. You don't need to be better or fixed. You need to be complete, embracing every part of your story, the beautiful and the broken alike. Here's a secret the world doesn't tell you. The more you run from pain, the more fiercely it hunts you. The harder you try to seem unaffected, the more fragile you become inside. But when you turn and face your wounds, when you hold your fears, your shame, your flaws in the light and say, "You are part of me, but you don't define me," nothing outside can break you. This path takes courage, the bravery to look within, to shed the masks you've worn, to feel the raw ache of being human. Because it's in that pain, in that vulnerability, that you find the key to transformation. Next, we'll see how suffering, far from being your enemy, becomes the gateway to your deepest strength. Let's dive deeper, fearless, and ready to face what's within. From childhood, you were taught to fear pain, to see suffering as a mark of weakness, tears, the unconscious sounding a loud, insistent alarm, the voice of your true self begging you to listen. He described depression as a lady in black. When she arrives, don't push her away. Invite her and hear what she's come to tell you. Pain isn't here to destroy you. It's here to guide you, to point you toward the parts of yourself you've ignored for too long. But you don't listen. You drown out the pain with distractions, keep busy to avoid the silence, numb yourself with habits or noise to escape what's calling. You do everything but face the truth that matters most. What is this suffering trying to teach you? It hurts so much because you're at war with yourself. One part of you yearning to grow, to break free, while another clings to the safety of the familiar. This inner battle is the source of your pain, the friction between who you are and who you're meant to become. Until you face it, the war will rage on, and the wounds will keep bleeding. Deep inside, a voice cries out for transformation, for a life that feels alive, authentic, whole. But your ego, addicted to control, tries to silence that call, clinging to old habits, old beliefs, old ways of being Newton's cradle, to the point where you can no longer tell what's inside from what's outside. This is the battle, the part of you that wants to grow versus the part that wants to stay safe. Change hurts, growth stings, and letting go of toxic ties, outdated beliefs, or pieces of yourself that no longer serve feels like a death. It's a grieving process, an inner cycle of endings and new beginnings, raw and sacred in its intensity. But it's in this space of breaking apart that something new can be born. When your certainties crumble, when pain strips you bare, you see yourself clearly, without the layers of protection, without the performance you've perfected, without the masks you've worn to survive. In that raw, vulnerable moment, suffering becomes a holy teacher, bringing you to your knees before the only thing that can truly free you, your own truth. It's here, in the ashes of what you thought you were, that you begin to discover who you really are, unburdened by the need to prove or perform. This is where healing begins. Start to rebuild from a place of honesty and wholeness. Jung knew this truth. Suffering isn't a glitch in the system. It's a vital part of the journey. Pain isn't the end of the road. It's the doorway to individuation, the process of becoming your true self. Most people turn back before crossing this dark valley. They distract, they numb, they cling to the surface, afraid of what lies beneath. But not you. If you're still here, you're ready to step into the shadows, to face the parts of yourself you've avoided. In the next part, we'll explore how this crossing happens, how the path of individuation, though lonely, fierce, and unforgiving, leads to a freedom that nothing can shake. Let's dive deeper. The journey is calling, and you're ready to answer. Few have the courage to begin the journey of individuation, and even fewer have the strength to see it through to the end. This path offers no soft comforts, no easy promises, no protection for the ego you've carefully built. It tears it apart, layer by layer. Jung described individuation as the process of becoming your true self, but this means unlearning everything you thought defined you, your roles, your achievements, your carefully crafted image. That unlearning is a fire, burning away illusions, and it hurts more than any external rejection. It's a reckoning, a confrontation with the parts of you you've hidden, a painful but sacred shedding of what no longer serves you. You start to see that so much of what you thought was you was a facade, a survival mechanism built to navigate a world that demanded you conform. You are not your successes, your failures, your traumas, or the image you created to feel loved, respected, or safe. Those were tools to get by, but surviving isn't living. It's existing in a half-light, never fully alive. Individuation is the soul's fierce, unyielding call to step beyond survival, to claim a life that's vibrant, authentic, and yours. It's a rebirth, a journey to uncover the you that's been waiting beneath the masks all along. This is when your unconscious begins to stir, pushing every buried fear, every hidden truth, every distorted belief to the surface, demanding to be seen. Individuation requires dismantling the persona, what Jung called a mask of collective convenience, the face you wear to fit in, to be accepted. It's like tearing off your own skin, raw and exposing, to reveal the truth beneath. This process is messy, uncomfortable, and sometimes terrifying, but it's also liberating. It's the act of stripping away what's false to find what's real, a journey from pretense to presence. Through this fire, you begin to become untouchable, not because you're immune to pain, but because you've walked through it and come out stronger. You've faced your inner demons, your shame, your neediness, your anger, and said, I see you, and you no longer rule me. This clarity, this fearless embrace of your own darkness, gives you a strength that doesn't depend on others' approval, validation, recognition. It's a power that comes from within, forged in the flames of self-awareness, unshakable because it's rooted in truth. You stop needing everyone to love you, stop chasing every argument to prove you're right, stop striving to always seem strong, because you know who you are, and that knowledge is a fortress no one can breach. True emotional armor isn't a hard shell that keeps the world out. It's a radiant core, a center of consciousness that holds steady through any storm. It's the strength of integration, of knowing every part of yourself so deeply that you can face the world without fear of losing yourself. You may still feel pain, but it no longer shatters you into pieces. You may hurt, but you don't lose your way. You've moved beyond being a slave to every emotional trigger. You've become whole, grounded in a deep, unshakable awareness. You've left the shallow surface of life, where every wave can knock you down, and stepped into the depths, where there's calm, clarity, and power. But this depth comes with a price: loneliness. Not because you're truly alone, but because few can walk this path with you. Most remain trapped in their masks, afraid to feel, afraid to face themselves. As you break free, you naturally drift from those still tethered to the surface, not out of rejection, but out of growth. This distance isn't a dismissal. It's a sign of your maturation, a natural evolution. You don't pull away from pride. You step back because you've outgrown the spaces where you once hid, the roles you once played. And now we reach the final step of this sacred journey: consciousness as your shield. It's not brute strength that protects you. It's the piercing clarity of self-awareness. In this last part, we'll explore how consciousness becomes the one state where nothing, absolutely nothing, holds power over you. Let's complete this crossing together, standing on the edge of something transformative, ready to step into your truth. If you've made it this far, hear this with absolute clarity. Nothing, not a single word, action, or loss, can shield you from suffering if you remain blind to the world within you. Harsh words will keep cutting, rejections will keep burning, losses will keep pulling you under until you choose to awaken. Awakening isn't a sudden, magical moment. It's a daily commitment, a choice to turn inward even when it hurts, to face your shadows even when they scare you. It's the decision to live with eyes wide open, to see yourself clearly, no matter how raw or uncomfortable the truth may be. Others, your past, or the hand of fate. Jung's words ring true. What you resist persists. What you embrace transforms. You've spent your life resisting, pushing away the fear of not being enough, the ache of rejection, the weight of loneliness, the pain of feeling unseen. You've hidden, silenced your heart, tried to control every outcome, chased perfection, and fought to seem unbreakable. But all that effort has left you here, exhausted, drained, weary of battling the world and the war within yourself. It's time to lay down the fight and pick up the truth instead. Now you know. True emotional strength isn't about hardening your heart or shutting out the world. It's about seeing clearly, understanding deeply. It's not about building thicker walls. It's about expanding your awareness until you know your triggers, your patterns, your deepest wounds so well that others' actions lose their power to destroy you. You'll still feel pain, but it won't drown you. You'll still suffer, but it won't steal your sense of self. This shift changes everything. It's the difference between being tossed by life's waves and standing firm in your own truth. Your true shield isn't hiding from life's messiness. It's diving into it with courage and clarity. Those who live on the surface are battered by every storm, every slight, every loss. But those who dive deep into themselves find a quiet strength, a steady calm, a power that nothing can shake. That's where you're headed, a place of wholeness, presence, and fearless acceptance. When you live from this depth, the world may try to knock you down, but it will find no weak spot to strike, no crack to exploit. You've become a force, not because you're untouchable, but because you're whole. If these words have stirred something deep within you, if you feel a spark of awakening igniting your soul, write in the comments, I choose clarity. Let's start a movement of brave, honest souls who are done surviving behind masks of false strength, who are ready to live in raw, unapologetic truth. Don't stop here. The next video is a vital journey. Keep going. Real transformation doesn't happen with a single step. It's a commitment to never turning back. I'll see you there, ready to embrace the next layer of your truth.